The doors close. Mid-2000s, hotel elevator, somewhere in New York during an NBA event. Kobe Bryant and Isiah Thomas, alone, heading to the same 15th floor function. Professional courtesy exchanged, brief nod, silence. Then Isiah makes the mistake every player from Jordan's era eventually makes. He starts talking about how the 80s and 90s were tougher, more physical, how hand-checking made scoring harder, how Jordan dominated because the game allowed real defense, how modern players have it easy with all the rule changes protecting them. And Kobe, who's been listening silently for 3 floors, calculates exactly how long this elevator ride lasts. 14 seconds between floors. 8 floors to go. 112 seconds total. Enough time to dismantle every word Isiah just said and make sure he never repeats this argument again. What happens in the next 90 seconds becomes one of basketball's most brutal verbal destructions. Not filmed, not recorded, just Isiah Thomas confidently explaining Jordan's era to someone who wasn't there. And Kobe Bryant, who studied Jordan more obsessively than anyone alive, systematically destroying that confidence until Isiah goes completely silent and stays silent for the rest of the ride. Because Kobe just proved that playing against greatness doesn't mean you understood it, and studying it completely beats experiencing it partially. Every single time. Mid-2000s, exact year uncertain, New York hotel, NBA event weekend. Kobe is deep into his prime, multiple championships secured, operating at a level that produces constant Jordan comparisons from every analyst, every broadcast, every conversation. The comparisons don't bother Kobe publicly. He handles them with diplomacy, acknowledges Jordan's greatness, lets his game speak. But privately, Kobe has studied Jordan with obsessive completeness. Every game available on film, every move broken down, footwork, shot selection, defensive reads, late game execution, not admiring from distance, reconstructing from inside, understanding why it worked, not just that it worked. Isiah Thomas, 2-time champion, Bad Boys Pistons, fought Jordan directly in the bloodiest playoff wars of the late 80s. His perspective on Jordan's era carries the authority of someone who was actually there, absorbed the punishment, delivered the punishment, knows firsthand what that physicality felt like. Which makes what he's about to say in this elevator land exactly wrong with Kobe. Because authority of experience doesn't equal accuracy of conclusion. And Kobe is about to prove it. Elevator doors close. Ground floor. Kobe presses 15. Isiah already inside. Both acknowledge each other professionally. Silence for 2 floors. Then Isiah starts casually, almost conversational. Jordan's era was different, you know? The physicality. Hand-checking was legal. Defenders could body you every possession. Scoring 30 points meant absorbing punishment today's players never face. The game was just tougher then. Made the championships mean more. Kobe doesn't respond immediately. Just listens with that specific stillness of someone absorbing every word while deciding in real time how brutal this response needs to be. 4th floor. 5th floor. Isiah continues. That's what made Jordan special. He dominated when the rules allowed real defense. Modern game is soft by comparison. All these rule changes protecting scorers. 6th floor, 7th floor, 8th floor. Kobe speaks for the first time since doors closed. Voice calm, measured, deadly. The rules didn't make it harder. They made it different. Jordan didn't dominate because he could absorb contact. He dominated because of what he built that contact couldn't reach. Pause. Elevator continues climbing. You're confusing the conditions with the player. Conditions tested one thing. Jordan was something else entirely. Isiah processes this. Not the response he expected. Not the deference younger players usually show legends from previous eras. Something sharper, more direct. 9th floor. Kobe continues before Isiah can respond. You think the rules made it harder to score? I think the rules gave you something to point to when you couldn't stop him. But you couldn't stop him because of what he could do, not because of what you were allowed to do. 10th floor. Isiah looks at Kobe now, recalibrating. You weren't there. You didn't play against him. The statement is factual, but the implication clear. Experience carries authority, study doesn't. Kobe's response arrives without hesitation. I didn't need to play against him. I studied him more completely than you did. You competed against him. That's not the same as understanding him. The distinction lands hard. Isiah's expression shifts. 11th floor. Kobe isn't finished. You know what it felt like to lose to him under those rules. I know why you lost regardless of what rules existed. The physicality didn't make him great. The greatness made the physicality irrelevant. 12th floor. Silence now. Isiah processing, searching for response, finding nothing that doesn't concede the point. 13th floor. Kobe delivers the final statement. Hand checking didn't stop you from scoring on Jordan. Jordan stopped you, and he would have stopped you under any rules in any era because what he built was deeper than the surface conditions you're pointing to. That's what you don't understand because you were too busy getting scored on to study why. 14th floor. Isiah says nothing. Complete silence. The elevator feels smaller suddenly, air heavier. 15th floor. Doors open. Both men step out. Isiah walks toward the event without responding, without looking back, processing what just happened. Kobe walks separate direction. Everything he needed to say delivered in 90 seconds. The conversation ends the way elevator conversations end. At arrival, without extended processing, without resolution. Just one man who said everything he came to say, and another man realizing his experience-based authority just got dismantled by someone who wasn't even there. The story circulates quietly, gets told by someone who heard it from someone positioned near the elevator, caught fragments through doors, pieced together the exchange from both men's expressions when they exited. Details shift between retellings. Exact floor, precise wording, Kobe's tone, but core exchange stays consistent across every version. Isiah making the era argument confidently. Kobe systematically destroying it with clarity that comes from thinking about this question deeper than Isiah realized anyone had. Years later, both asked about it separately. Neither confirms full details publicly. Isiah acknowledges conversations with Kobe about era comparisons, but doesn't repeat the specific exchange. When asked directly, he deflects. Kobe and I talked about basketball philosophy many times. We had different perspectives. The diplomatic answer that avoids admitting what happened. Kobe, when the elevator story surfaces in interviews, smiles that particular smile when a story is accurate enough that denial would be dishonest and confirmation unnecessary. Isiah and I talked about a lot of things over the years. We didn't always agree. Closest to confirmation he provides. But people close to both men confirm the essence. Conversation happened. Exchange was real. Isiah brought the era argument. Kobe demolished it. Isiah left silent. What the exchange reveals isn't just Kobe's position on Jordan comparisons. It's something more specific about how Kobe processed his own career in relationship to the player everyone compared him to. Kobe never claimed to be Jordan, never positioned himself as superior, but he also never accepted that Jordan's era made the accomplishments untouchable. Hand-checking, physicality, defensive contact, these were conditions, not causes. What Jordan built wasn't because of conditions. It was built underneath conditions. Would have functioned regardless of rule changes. This is the argument Kobe made in 90 seconds. Not to diminish Jordan. Nothing in the statement diminishes Jordan. To clarify where greatness actually lives. Doesn't live in conditions surrounding it. Lives in construction underneath conditions. Built so deeply that changing surface rules doesn't reach it. Jordan had that. Kobe studied that. And when Isiah attributed Jordan's dominance to era advantages, Kobe corrected him with confidence of someone who did homework Isiah assumed didn't exist. The larger conversation about era comparisons continues. Isiah's position that Jordan's era was tougher remains common among players from that period. But after that elevator ride, Isiah never made that argument to Kobe again. Never brought up hand-checking, never pointed to physicality differences, never implied modern players have it easier. Because Kobe proved in 14 seconds per floor that experience doesn't automatically equal understanding. That losing to greatness and comprehending greatness are completely different categories of knowledge. Mid-2000s, hotel elevator, New York. Isiah Thomas explains to Kobe Bryant why Jordan's era was tougher, why the rules made dominance harder, why modern players don't understand what real basketball looked like. Kobe listens for 8 floors, then spends the final 7 floors systematically dismantling every point until Isiah has nothing left to say. Doors open on 15. Isiah walks out silent, humbled by someone who wasn't even there, but understood Jordan more completely than the men who played against him. That's not debate. That's intellectual destruction. And Isiah never made that mistake with Kobe again. If you want the real stories of verbal warfare that happen in private, the moments where legends destroyed each other with words, not games, the conversations that redefined hierarchies without cameras watching, subscribe to The Real Game. We break down the battles fought in elevators, hallways, and closed rooms. New stories every week. This is where respect gets earned through preparation, not just experience.